everyone, this is Persephone, and my belief that most people are trash has actually been cemented and solidified. But because we are on a channel where we make the best out of every situation, today I'm going to share some things that happened with you and some decisions that I've made. This is the third or fourth video I make about this topic. The other videos I had to purge because they would get us in huge trouble on YouTube, so hopefully this one will get to stay. There was a person I reconnected with after quite some time, I have to say, a woman in this case, that made me so angry that I had an extreme case of gastritis. I couldn't eat anything for days and days, and even now I'm eating soups and bananas and other things that you have to have no choice but to eat them. So if you see me and I lost weight that I didn't need to lose, is because of that. This story that I'm going to share with you, one of the few stories in this video, goes back into my AMWF days, where I was dating a Japanese guy. We had met in real life, not like those fandom dating stories where you talk to chatbots or fake accounts from Reddit and so on. And while I was with this person, I was having an account on a language exchange site where you help Japanese people learn English and they talk to you in Japanese to help you practice. There were people that they were using this site as a dating site, but I wasn't one of them because I already had a boyfriend and because I honestly wanted to practice Japanese. And I'm going to tell you a story about some people now that I will change their names for their privacy and because I don't want to get a strike, although I wish I could just name them, but we all know this is not how it works. So in this story, there is a girl named Sandra that is from Russia, a guy named Takeshi that is from Japan, and several other people that shall remain unnamed for now. Takeshi was the one that I started messaging first, or he messaged me on the language exchange site, and he was from Japan. He was this witty person. He spoke very good English, which was unusual, so we started talking, and he asked me about if I'm seeing anyone, and I was honest. So after that, the story starts to get creepy and weird because he said that he has this breeding/cuckolding fetish, and his dream is to meet a white woman and get her pregnant behind her husband's back. So he told me, you know, this works so great, you can just marry this dude and come to Japan, and he's going to be working all day, he will have no idea what you're doing, and you can get pregnant by me, and then we're going to dump the kid to him, all the kid's expenses, and in Japan you are not expected to work because most women, after they have kids, they become housewives, so you can just have fun with me all day, you can do whatever you want, and we're going to be laughing behind his back. After that, I have to say that I didn't continue with this person, not even as a friend, because I don't believe in this kind of life, lying and deceiving and having some illegitimate child in secret. Like, why would you introduce all of this drama into your life? I don't even watch soap operas with a stupid plot. But before, I decided to do some online investigation, because when the cases started to proposition these things, it was a completely different shift from the original persona that I was friends with. So I wanted to see what else is there. Then I found out that he has a Russian fiance, a Polish girlfriend, and I don't know how many other women could have been. But the problem was that these two women that I managed to find were pretty serious about him, especially the Russian ones. He was planning to move to Japan to marry him. So I did what I thought was the right thing, and I still do. But I took screenshots of my exchanges with Takeshi and I sent it to both of them because I was thinking if I was in their position and I was planning to practically uproot my life to move to a different country and the guy is already cheating, I would want someone to tell me and warn me so that I don't do such a stupid thing. The Polish girl, who had a lot of self-respect, dumped him. After a few months she found someone else and she moved on with her life. But the Russian girl, we're going to name her Sandra like I said, she decided to blame everything on me, to make me the scapegoat. By the way, don't shoot the messenger if the message is not up to your liking. And then she went to Japan and married him anyway. That marriage became a disaster because, first of all, the guy wasn't an orphan from a mother, and we know that the Asian mother-in-law is not going to be nice to the daughter-in-law. That's almost universal. And she was beaten. They stole her stuff. Her mother-in-law stole things worth around $10,000, from cameras to jewelry to dresses. I don't know if she even stole the wedding dress. And Sandra barely escaped because her parents managed to send her a plane ticket to go back to Russia. And after that, we kind of drifted apart. But recently, I had found out that she has an acting career, and I decided to talk to her again because years had passed from that story, and she was a person that I considered a smart person. I mean, having met one psychopath or one narcissist doesn't make you any less of a person, it makes them trash, if you ask me. And because she was one of the very few women that I knew that actually had hobbies, that she could talk about things and she was educated instead of just I'm breathing and watching movies and eating, and that's my personality that 99% of people are these days. So we talked for a few days, and then she told me that talking to me is very triggering to her. It reminds her of the past with Takeshi, that she's still working on healing from that, so she didn't want to keep in touch. For me, fine, I'm the person that I understand trigger and traumas more than most, so if it's too much for you, I understand and I wish you the best. Here is where the story starts becoming really creepy. A few weeks passed from that, or a month, I don't know, and I decided to look at her public page and her projects. I'm the type of person that I own my stalking. I've stalked in the past, and I've said it, and I've advised people to stalk in the past, and I admit to that too, because sometimes it's necessary. But in this case, I don't consider what I did stalking, because I didn't make a fake account to infiltrate her social media. I didn't ask other people to show me screenshots, nothing like that. I just look at the public page on her website that is her acting projects, okay? And I say this because what she did becomes even more extreme given the fact that she posts it in public, in a place where hundreds of her followers are actually seeing it. So she was making very lengthy posts about me, several paragraphs, calling me a stalker, and saying that I've been obsessed with her humble persona for many years. By the way, humble persona is ironically very accurate because she's also a massive narcissist to do what I'm going to tell you that she did. And then she said, she's very envious about my life. I'm not, but again, this is up to the person. Up to this point, I was really trying to be the better person and ignore all of that stupid drama and say, okay, it's a person still healing from that, what happened with Takeshi. And then she gets and says, I don't judge you for the way you make money or for how you live or something like that. Between the lines, I don't judge you for the adult work that you do. And if you haven't been under a rock, you know that when someone says, oh, I don't judge you for your gender, but I don't judge you for your race, but I don't judge you for your job, but neuro-linguistic programming tells us that whatever comes before the but, whatever is before the but is a lie, and whatever comes afterwards is the truth. So they are judging you. And pretty much what she wrote, to tell you the summary between the lines, is that I even talked to someone like you who does this job and you're still stalking me. So can you please leave me alone? Now someone would say, aren't you used to it yet? Aren't you used to the hate from women against cam girls or femdom goddesses or sex workers yet? Aren't you used to the prejudice? I was used to it. But Sandra told me before we parted ways that she has a Chinese boyfriend several years younger than her, that she's practically paying him to be her boyfriend. She's paying for his food, she's tutoring him because he's in college, she is buying him gifts and he asks for even more gifts. He had a persona that came off as very feminine to me. He was very into designer stuff. He was even jealous that she had the Dior perfume. So this really made me so angry that I would accept, I wouldn't be okay, but I would still understand if there was a person who was judging me that was outside all of that. But you are judging me for selling it and then you go ahead and buy it. Like, for me, digital sex work is still sex work. I'm not going to say like these people that, oh, like STP said once, oh, I'm a good girl, I've never done porn, and then she goes to Fansly and posts things that people watch to masturbate. So for me, this porn, even though it's not traditionally what you would call porn, but you're paying a guy to date you. And not just that, you're paying a Chinese guy to date you. And I don't say this in a negative way about Asian men, because I find so many Asian men extremely handsome and they've gotten death threats and rape threats routinely for dating them. But I'm just saying that, especially in China, they're missing 50 million women because of their one-side policy. I would never pay a Chinese guy to date me. I'm confident I could find someone to date me for free, even a good-looking one. Because They don't have enough women, just go over there and find someone and date him. So you're that desperate that you're paying a guy to date you, and then you have the nerve to come to me. You're a female John. Have you taken a good look in the mirror? But no, people never see themselves. I started to ask myself, have I become too autistic, or has anyone else become too psychotic? You have the nerve to write this about me for your followers. When you go and you practically force a person who is not into you to date you, taking advantage of their bad financial situation, because I will say something that I've said in the past, at the danger of losing my fan base, and I have no problem saying it now. I can live without the fan base. I can live without many things. And that is, if you need to pay someone to date you, they're not into you. If they were into you, you wouldn't be paying them. We live in such an idiocracy that even this has to be stated clearly. So I messaged her and I asked her to take that stuff down and move on with her life, and as it was expected, all of that doubled up. Continues, more posts, it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram, it's on VK. If you're not aware of what VK is, Russian socials, I don't expect people to know it. It's everywhere. Now it has metastasized everywhere. But I'm the stalker, I'm the irrational, I'm the person who is the bad guy because I had the nerve to tell her that her boyfriend is actually cheating on her and looking to impregnate other women behind her back. Story number 1. Now a story from way back from my childhood. I'm around 7 or 8 years old in this story, definitely under 10. And we have moved to Jerkwater Heights 4.0 because my father is stationed in some army base in some jungle, I don't know where, and I've moved into yet another ghetto school that my narcissistic mother found for me. And as usual, I'm being bullied because I'm the new kid, I'm the weird kid, I'm the autistic kid, and in this story, in this specific school, I'm also the smallest kid because even now that I've grown to this amazing height of 5'2", back then I was way smaller than that, and my narcissistic mother did some kind of scam that I don't know exactly how she pulled this off, like probably faked my date of birth, but I had some early acceptance into these schools. So I was a year and a half younger than everybody else, and I was already this dwarfish type of person. I don't say this to offend any person with that condition. That's how my parents called me, like my nickname was dwarfish. Go figure that out. So there was this girl in that school that she was controlling the entire school. Imagine like in those, if you have watched an anime or a movie or a series about bullying, she was the top bully. And she was definitely twice my size, and she was also extremely overweight. She would look like someone who goes to junior high. And she was bullying other kids as well, not just me. But no one did anything because her father was this headmaster in high school and her mom was a pharmacist, and for Jerkwater Heights, this felt like it was Paris Hilton or something because most people in that town were very poor. And I did everything by the book again. These stories will loosely be connected because the common factor is me doing everything by the book. Like when someone is cheating and you find out, you tell their partner by the book, good person story. When someone is trying to talk to you, you talk to them and you let bygones be bygones. And in this story, first I tell my teachers that, this girl is trying to hit me, is calling me names, has slapped me, has broken my stuff. Whatever you can imagine that kids can do to bully each other, it had happened. The teachers did absolutely nothing. Then I told my mother, because my father was again AFK, he was away for months for the army, so it was just me and her mental illness, all three of us. And my mother, as usual, blamed it on me. She said, you're autistic, so you must have done something, because as we all know, you autistic people have no social skills. So she said that pretty much the message was, don't bother me, you brought this on yourself. And the bullying started to escalate because that's how it is in these cases. The more you don't fight back, the more it escalates. I tried to fight back once or twice or 3 times. I remember there was a time when she slapped me and I tried to slap her back and I couldn't even reach her face because of our height difference. So none of that was working. And there was one time that I will never forget. I'm telling you, I have so crystal clear memory that I can close my eyes and transfer back to that place. The school was in some kind of place that it seemed like a forest. Not exactly a forest, but there were trees and there were hills surrounding the school that were still school property, this place apart. And we were at the outskirts of that, me and her. And we were standing in front of a hill. When we say hill, I mean quite high, not even just for children. Even if an adult fell from that height, they could have been injured. And just bashing me again, she just starts saying those things like, you filthy immigrant, go back to your country, because I wasn't originally, like, my grandma and other people were not from that country, or like you suck, or you are this nerdy kid that all you do is study, like yikes, we don't want you in our school, when are you going to leave? And then she started pushing me, and I remember, it's like time stopped, and I remember thinking that I would want nothing more than to push that bitch down that hill. That this would teach her a lesson once and for all. By the way, again, trigger warning, I do not approve of violence, attacking other people, retaliating this way. This is just a story of what happened with me as a kid, and I advise against it. And honestly, if someone treats you this way, there are better ways to handle it. But I want to share the story for a reason. And then I realized that there's no way for me to actually push her, given the fact that we are so different in size, unless I actually push her so hard with all of my strength, but that would mean I'm also falling down the hill with her. And then she does this thing when she tries to grab me again or to slap me, I don't remember. And I got so angry. I was like, screw it. And I push her and we fall down the entire hill, both of us. And I don't remember feeling any pain because I had so much adrenaline. I had so much anger inside me. I remember I opened my eyes, but probably I was feeling rocks hitting me, plants hitting me, branches of trees hitting me, and we are at the bottom of the hill. She's crying, she's sobbing, her clothes are torn, and she has mud and dust all over her face. I'm not in a better condition than her. And then I realized that for the first time, she actually lost. To make a long story short, after that, her parents came to the school to threaten my parents, and the icing of the cake was that I had broken my arm in 5 different pieces. Like, if I could show you my arm, I still have scars from that fall down the hill. And her parents came mad to the school to say, who is this savage kid abusing our precious little daughter who is almost 200 pounds. But because I had broken my arm falling down, and because other kids actually talked about what a bully she was, then my mother, who was extremely upset that she had to stop her daily routine of doing nothing and watching soap operas to take me to the hospital to put a cast on my arm, she started threatening them back, and then she started saying that she's going to sue the school, and the school didn't pay attention to us, and she's going to sue the parents. And because most of these people are cowards, that's why they train their kids to be cowards, the whole thing was dropped. And after that, I went to the school, and I was thinking only one thing wearing that cast. It was all worth it. Do you know why? For the rest of the school year, not even one person dared to bully me. Male, female, young, old, crazy, saying, not even one person dared to be nothing but polite towards me. Not even a fly would come in my direction. So I was thinking it was really worth it to just take a big risk but also have a big gain. Again, I don't encourage people to solve these problems with violence. I'm sharing this story in more of a symbolic way to connect with what I want to tell you afterwards. There was some moron who joined my OnlyFans, and he told me, you read our incel tears and you came up with your channel, right? So this is one example that no, I didn't just browse a couple of subreddits for 5 minutes to put up who I am and who my channel is and actually make money. If it was so easy, there wouldn't be any poverty. Incidents like that happened all of my life, and they keep happening, with Sandra being the most recent one, that made me realize that pretty much almost everything I know about life is a lie. And that for the things that people, TV, and society is teaching you, there is a word for that: bullshit. So, no matter how much I try to save this channel, it's not salvageable. People just want to hear about chastity. Every day I get so many messages about chastity that I've actually put it in blocked words, and people saying, I'm 2 inches, is it too small? I'm 3 inches, is it too small? I'm 1.5 inches, is it too small? cares about anything else that I have to say. So as the creator of this channel, I have to take responsibility and tell you that I'm being forced to make a choice. And this choice is, if I want to actually help people, the content has to become much more real and much more darker. And it has to be cut off from this chastity channel permanently. At this point, I'm going to start asking like a garden variety YouTuber, should just go for the easy money. I have said repeatedly, I don't want to talk about chastity anymore because I've exhausted everything that I have to say, and I don't want to repeat myself. I don't want to repeat myself about many topics on this channel. No one cares. So do you want me to just keep this channel here and talk about chastity and feminization and stuff like that, hoping that maybe they will get monetized? And then start the channel with things that they will actually help people, but they will be much darker? Because this was my life, the person going down the hill. That's how I became who I am. And one thing that I did realize is that people are just going to invalidate you, like their life depends on it. Everyone told me that it was wrong to push that kid down the hill. Was it really wrong? Okay, what was my choice? To be slapped and pushed around and hated for an entire year with no one doing anything? And this is not the only thing. The same as with Sandra. I just don't know at this point what's the right thing. But I don't believe there is a universal right thing. And in any case, whoever is watching me deserves to decide for their own life. For me to get to a point to decide for my own life, I had to fight for it. I still have to fight for it. It's very hurtful to see that I posted these things about chastity and femdom and no one cares about anything else. Another lie that I was being spoon-fed is that, oh, you can be a sex worker and you can still have your channel, you can still have your personality. No, you can't. No one wants it. You're going to be this one-dimensional character, this goddess who only talks about these things and nothing else. And there are so many people who are asking me this, that it's such a first world stupid problem if you think about it. That, okay, so you became too successful on something, people want to hear more of it, like, wow, what a white person's problem, what a stupid problem. But the real issue here isn't my feelings about it, it's that I have information that I believe can actually help someone going through the same. And it's being drowned inside all of this chastity talk and femdom talk. And I believe that a lot of the people who are into chastity and femdom don't really want to change their lives. I've tried. I've really tried to help them. I have Brian's story that is 100% real if you want to see it in my channel, that he was a guy that he was my sub, he was in his 60s, and a miracle happened, and there was a very nice lady, also in her 60s, that she was living nearby. And she liked Brian and his 9 cats, because Brian, I'm the last person to judge people for cats, but I understand that being 60 and having 9 obese cats can actually prevent many people from dating you. So this guy liked Brian so much that he would even cat sit his cats for free. And when I told him, why not just take her out to dinner and try dating her, giving her a chance since she's so much into you, he said, she's too old. Because she was like, what, 2 or 3 years older than him. She's too boring. You don't even know that. You haven't even gone on one date with her. She's not going to be into femdom and the things that I'm into. First of all, you haven't even tried. And second, if she's not, you just break it off. I don't believe that you lose anything by trying. But here's the catch. Brian and people like him don't want to date people their own age. They don't even want to date people half their age. They are this type of person that they would say a woman in her 40s is old. So they want to date people in their 20s, or they want to date a fantasy that I'm going to join someone's OnlyFans, someone's paid adult media, and talk people into dating them. And I don't want to enable this. I want to explain to people that at this point, your choice is constantly being scammed, dating a robot when sex robots become massively available, so maybe you need to start preparing for that, or dating a replica, which is the first step. Or actually staying alone. I don't think that relationships should be high priority. One very big myth also is that relationships, in my opinion, from 1 to 10, where 1 is not a priority at all and 10 is absolute priority, relationships should be a 3 to 4. Yet society teaches us to be relationship obsessed at the expense of everything else. But yeah, they are going to tell you that being single is amazing and strong and you're healthy and you shouldn't be codependent, and then you navigate the world that worships couples, that is couple friendly, and that is single shaming. So I'm really fed up. Patience was never among my many gifts, and I have to say that I'm going to try to create a new project where the content is so going to be much darker than what you see here. Maybe YouTube is going to allow it, maybe not. If it's not allowed, we're going to transfer it somewhere else in some other platform. And I'm going to surrender here and remain a cartoon character because that's what people want, and I'm going to post most of these videos that they're going to be demonetized, asking the same crazy people to subscribe to my OnlyFans because I'm tired of swimming against the flow, honestly. I'm tired of people like Sandra. I'm tired of people like the ones who message me and never even read the description. I'm tired of people that they shame me for something and then go buy it or go do something worse. I accept defeat. I can't change these people because they don't want to change. They don't want a healthy relationship with someone age appropriate or with someone that they don't need to buy consent from them. Because when you pay someone to give you attention, affection, or to pretend to like you, they don't actually like you. And I was extremely disappointed recently because there was another model that I used to respect, a cam model named Katie Wow, that I don't say this to shame or to hate Katie, and it's her right to make the decision that she made. She decided to retire from cam modeling, and honestly, I wish her the best, but what really bothered me is that she said, I decided to retire for personal reasons and because I want to do something else with my life. Of course, I'm not entitled to anyone's privacy, and personal reasons should be personal. I just wish there would be someone else that told people that I decided to retire because this job has this awful soul-crushing elements, not just the stalking, not just the harassment, and because I'm fed up with it. And just help me even 1% break the illusion that people do this because they're into it. How many women would actually talk to these people day in and day out if there wasn't a payment? The same as the Chinese guy in Sandra's case. She told me herself that if she doesn't pay for everything, he's going to leave. Why has this become normalized? Personally, I have no compassion anymore for people who are just buying human beings and then play the victims. You lost your right to play the victim when you victimized someone else. And be prepared, we are reinstating femdom content in this channel. I'm not going back to femdom. I'm not going to do femdom. That is staying and it's not going to change. But I can discuss the topic if someone wants it. If another femdom goddess wants some my help, I can do that. That's the best I can do. Because people chose the fakeness. You have to give people what they want to, right? And I'm going to keep the things that I truly want to say, the things that I'm truly passionate about, separated. Yeah, we live in a place where being honest and doing what you've been told that will bring results brings you misery. I've learned my lesson. I've really learned my lesson. I expected a lot of hate. I'm used to a lot of hate, but I never expected, like I said, that people would just say things like, oh, you wouldn't talk to me if I didn't pay you on OnlyFans, right? Or, oh, you just watched Reddit and then you made your channel, right? You just watched videos there or videos about Reddit. You don't know anything about me. And that's partially my fault. Would you even have guessed that when I was 8, I went down the hill with someone? But maybe I had more wisdom when I was 8 than what I'm now. Because at 8, I understood that no risk, no gain. That there are people who message me all the time and they say, I want to change my life, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I'm not willing to show my face into sex work to make money. I'm not willing to go against my parents. I'm not willing to move away from my Jerkwater Heights town. I'm like, oh, so you want to change everything without actually risking anything, right? If I had such a formula, first I would use it on myself and you would never see me again. Unfortunately, it does not exist. At least I don't know it. So I'm more than just someone talking about chastity, or someone who read a couple of Reddit posts, or someone who just made the easiest money ever on Clips for Sale or wherever else that you like to see. And I guess since I've stated that a million times and no one took it seriously, maybe it's time to show you. In the meantime, please refrain from asking doxing questions. I can't share more information about myself than I'm already sharing, but honestly, if you knew geography or if you knew personal information about me, like who I'm dating and all of that stuff, it wouldn't change anything. The purpose of what I'm doing is to make people think. So, knowing doxing information just puts people around me in danger that they didn't consent to be on the channel, so I can share it. I can share things that they go back to them. Remember that they even found my white ex-husband from like so long ago, and they took pictures from my OnlyFans and they sent it to him, pretending that it's me trying to get back together with him, like nude pictures. And my ex is in a serious relationship. Unfortunately for them, me and my ex are on friendly terms, obviously not friends, but he can call me and ask me. So he was asking me, what is that about? And he knows about OnlyFans. The people who know me in real life, some of them do know. So it was resolved very quickly. But it still left me very bad taste because he did not consent to be part of this. So why would he be harassed? After that, I realized that I have to be a bit more careful with what I share, because it seems that there are people that even mentioning that I have a white ex who is a psychiatrist was enough to track him down. That's really impressive.